A very good afternoon or good evening, based on wherever you are. It is a Wednesday. It's a Tuesday. Wednesday. It's Wednesday, 17th of April 2024. And I'm Jacob Junior Munghesi bringing you the PowerPoint show that comes on your screens every week. And people have missed Habib Buwembo for some good time. I know they've been asking, where is Habib? Where is Buwembo? Where is Honorable? Today I've even decided to introduce him even before me speaking everything, because I've missed him a lot. Like, I've missed you on set, and people have also
you mean there are those who have been demanding?
Yeah, people demand, but of course now I had to give the excuse of Eid. You know,
the month of Ramadan.
Yeah, he's a devoted man.
We had to devote that time.
Yeah,
only the Creator.
So you know, Habib is a devoted Muslim, so he has to take his time and observe the month of Ramadan. So it was really not necessary for us to have him throughout. But it's good you're back, and now people can get to feel what I've been missing. Otherwise, Habib, you're most welcome.
Thank you. I have to introduce myself first to those who are watching me for the first time. I'm by names of Buwembo Habib, a member of National Unity Platform. I call it NUP. I'm also in the office of the National Mobilization of NUP as a special envoy in that office. I work with my chairman, Nyanzi Fred Sentamu.
Okay.
Muntu wa watu. I'm also a political activist, as well as a human rights defender.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Habib Buwembo. Now we've had a lot of things happening throughout the week. We've seen what has been happening in Parliament, the debate of the money that was placed to maintain Nambole Stadium. People were saying there was a lot of money that was put into for just mere maintenance. It was too much to be used just for maintenance. It is money that would have been used maybe to establish like 2 or 3 new stadiums that are really that are on standard. But surprisingly, even the too much amount that was put there still couldn't maintain to the standards that are required. Of course, we've also seen in the same week we've seen the trade demonstrating or striking against the proposed taxes that are yet to be implemented, and the question is whether something effective or something will be successful in their demonstrations and their strikes. And also just yesterday we saw people crossing at the National Unity Platform headquarters. The question is it the right full time for people to cross from their previous parties?
Is there such a time that is the right?
Yeah, and that's what we will want to know. Are they not targeting tickets just like the president was saying? Or what is exactly behind that? That and much more is what we want to talk about. Honorable Habib, you've been lost now. I want to begin on you. I want to begin, I think, with the most recent one. Yesterday we saw people crossing from NRM and crossing to the NUP, and somebody wouldn't expect such a thing to happen, and they're like,
you know, like as I have introduced myself.
Yeah.
I belong to the Office of Mobilization, together with, it is headed by Chairman Nyanzi Fred. He's our National Secretary for Mobilization. It is our daily duty to mobilize, recruit new members from different political parties, and even from those who are not belonging to any political party. You know, there are people who tend to be like, I'm not for politics.
They're neutral.
And yes, so we go to them, sweet talk them, show them the great importance they are having of contributing to the politics of the country.
So you feel uncomfortable when they are missing canes, because you sweet talking them to join your party. It's like giving them a direct ticket to canes and
no, not as such. We are sweet talking them to come and fight against that tendency of caning people wherever they talk about politics, because it is a level of injustice. It is our constitutional right. There is an article that provides for freedom of association, freedom of expression, freedom of demonstration. So why would someone cane someone because of belonging to a certain group of people? Because of associating with a certain political party? That is illegal and it is injustice. So as a human rights defender, for us we have a saying that injustice to one is injustice to all of us. So we go to them and try to talk to them. As you are watching others being beaten, you wait for your day. But if you don't want to meet that day, you come and join the force. We fight against this kind of injustice, so that that day does not come to you or doesn't come to your children.
But the allegation is that for you, you go beyond the, when they give you the freedom to exercise your rights, freedom of speech and so forth, you go beyond.
Beyond
and
how?
Yet there are limitations. Of course, you're free to speak.
You know, what they call beyond is like now when I say that Anita Among, the Speaker of Parliament, stole the Karamajong iron sheets.
But why do you laugh?
For her, she will choose that term, that you have much as you're expressing yourself, but you have gone beyond.
I think
beyond what?
No, of course.
I'm talking about the taxpayers' money that was misused.
Yeah, it is okay to demonstrate.
Yes.
But all I'm saying is the allegation that you in your demonstrations and so forth, you end up infringing on other people's rights. So you cause chaos. You
see. Have you been in Uganda?
Of course.
Have you been following some of the demonstrations that we have organized?
Of course.
Can you remind me where one of our leaders has either infringed on another person's right, or where one of our leaders has caused chaos? Chaos is always caused by the police, the army. Have you been following what is happening in Kampala?
Of course.
In these demonstrations of traders?
Traders, yeah.
Tell me, what would be the purpose? What would be the duty of the army in this in that whole cause?
I think there is an assumption that some of the people who are demonstrating the traders are not traders.
Yes.
They are just politicians who are taking the advantage.
Then let it be. They are not traders. Then what is the role of the army officer to a person who is not a trader and that demonstration?
They are there to protect.
Because you see, the constitutional duty of the army is to protect the boundaries of the country.
Yeah.
The army has to come out to fight against rebels, those who are threatening the existence of the country.
Maybe the police has failed. So,
the police is like, it is also in captivity. It was being taken over by the army. And that kind of illegality is what we are against, and it is what we are fighting. So the chaos in all demonstrations hasn't been caused by the demonstrators, but by the forces whose duty would be to protect the demonstrators. And in the end, they come out to say, those who are the demonstrators have caused chaos.
So the ones you welcomed yesterday should be expected also to partake of the NUP DNA.
The duty of any political party, one is to recruit. We recruited yesterday. Next is to organize. We have to organize these people into a superb force. After organizing, we train them. Not this muchaka training. We are going to train them, one, empowering them with the knowledge of how to fight against dictatorship. So the knowledge of how to engage in a non-violent struggle. And thereafter, we shall have to deploy them.
So which measures has the party taken to ensure that they don't recruit the new Kagabos, the new Mpugas?
There is no way you can avoid...
as you always allege.
There is no way you can avoid people of that like. But how you deal with them after identifying them is what is most important.
Already the allegation that you failed to handle those who are...
We have handled. When Impuga chose to eat with those who thieves in this country, haven't you heard how we are handling him? When Kagabo chose to move with the son of Museveni, the son with the big belly, you know him. But yes, haven't you heard the solution we are having for him? Isn't he in Christ? Haven't you heard?
So he's crying.
Kagabo. He's crying.
Back.
Is he still enjoying the life he was enjoying?
He's enjoying.
How is he enjoying?
I remember some time back when I saw him, I think I saw him.
Can he step in his constituency today?
You mean he can't?
He cannot. He was just away by the electorates, electorates who voted him into power. You know? And I don't think that he can think again.
By the way, about him being chased, I'm told just some group, just a small group was employed to do that.
Employed by who?
By those, maybe the party leaders, I don't know.
To do what, by the way?
Just to share picture
chase him from the...
Yeah, to share picture that you see Kagabo is no longer liked in his constituency, he cannot speak, he cannot...
No, now, I don't think that the party NUP has such a financial capacity to pay each and every electorate in the constituency of Kagabo.
You mean NUP doesn't have those finances?
It has not that capacity. Do you know how many electorates in the in Bukoto? Is it Bukoto South? Do you know how many they are? If you are to pay them to do such against their own, how much do you have to pay to each person? Okay, you pay at least 50,000 shillings to about 20,000 people. How much money is that? And what mode of payment do you use? Do you pay by sending on someone's mobile money or by paying cash at hand? How do you do it? And if you did it, you paid someone 50,000 and he comes to chase the person he voted himself, he voted to parliament. That has to be maybe being... that has to reflect that this person already had issues with that person, with the MP. So you cannot just find someone and you give him 50,000 to chase someone he loves. It is not just.
So should we say the party is now learning from the effects of the wave that previously they were telling people to whosoever can contest, to just go and contest, and maybe that could have been the reason as to why now people are saying, yes, Kagabo, voted you, but then you are not fit for this. Meaning at the time of voting, they didn't care much about somebody's capabilities. And
there was that caring, but people change every day.
Yeah,
people change. In the creation of God, He created Satan. Every day, Satan comes and persuades good people to its side. So there is no way you can say we shall always keep with only good ones. Satan is not also seated. He's also working hard to make sure that it deviates people from the right.
Who is Satan in
you don't know the Satan of the politics of Uganda?
I don't know.
But the Satan has always been speaking himself.
From Uganda?
Yes. And that Satan puts on a big hat. The Satan is in those late ages.
So how do you identify Satan?
By the acts. When you do evil acts, then you are an agent of Satan. And every country has gotten that bigger agent, the ambassador. So for the case of Uganda, we have a Satan that ordered the killings of people in Kasese. And later after, he had to come and promote the killer in the names of Major who? No. There is this guy who was in the command of the killings of people of Kasese. I'm also Reru, yes, Reru. So that is Satan has been moving around with some sacks of money, but trying to.
But wasn't Reru doing his work? Of course,
yes,
he said
the work of killing. He said, and the Satan appreciated.
He said
him.
the work of the army is to protect the country from rebels and
the boundaries of the country. So, is there such a pronouncement that in Kasese were rebels?
It was assumed. It was assumed.
Is there a law that provides the killing of someone who's assumed to be innocent?
But now Kasese, as for now, they feel they're now okay because when the king was
okay,
released and everything is okay.
Okay, from who? You see, we have to be true to ourselves and to others. What was happening in Kasese was like a fight against the opposition groups in Kasese. That was after an election of 2011, I think, if I can remember well, 2016, where Kasese largely voted in for opposition.
Yeah.
The Kasese was meant to be represented by 6 MPs. All of them, 6 were FDC. The chairman, LC5, was FDC. The councils at local government level were all led by the opposition, FDC. So, in brief, NRM was in opposition in Kasese. So, in those castles in Kasese, NRM had a duty to choose the leader of opposition. And those in the lead were FDC. And that is the only crime they committed. If that interprets into rebellion, that he needed to deploy Reru to go and murder the so-called labels in courts because of them choosing FDC to lead them, then...
Anyway, but I know it wasn't about murdering him being murdered. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay.
All that happened in a broad daylight. The bombings that were thrown on the palace of the Mumbere, the people, the bodies that were burnt, which were laid in a broad daylight. All those things can be followed up. When you visit Google or YouTube, you can text and you,
okay, maybe to
follow them.
To put that.
So we are looking at the new recruitments.
The new recruitments
in NUP.
Yes,
we have recruited, and yesterday was amongst the happiest people in the politics of today. There has been a talk that NUP is losing. It is losing with the public, like more so in Masaka, that after having decided to come out and distance ourselves from the acts of one of their leader, Honorable Matthias Impuga. We strongly said Impuga's involvement in the corruption in parliament has to be condemned, and we strongly condemn.
You believe you still have support as you had before?
Yesterday, part of the team that he came at our headquarters was a very huge team from Masaka. People who crossed from different parties, more especially DP. And the team was led by Honorable Judy Mbabali.
But I thought fishing from, because DP is like a brother to your party, and so fishing from them doesn't make really a big change.
DP is not a brother to, when we come to politics, it is not a brother to NUP. You know the leaders of DP where they are. They are hobnobbing with the Satan we've talked about.
No, they are trying to look for a way.
Yes, then those are wrong brothers. We denounce them. They are no longer our brothers. So let them being peace talks with their brother. No, for us, we are looking at them as opponents.
Yeah, because
yes.
Mao
you
told
remember
you, Mao told you he went there to organize for peaceful transition. So he's trying
transiting from who to who?
I don't know.
So
but
he's in talks to the person who want to unseat that, now.
Of course, has to convince him
and how to unseat you. It is not just possible. It is not just possible. So we fished from DP. The person of Honorable Mbabari I'm talking about, one is a staunch Christian. Mpuga has always been bragging like he has a support from that Christian side. We have fished someone who is on the same levels when it comes to that side of Christianity with him. Then Mbabali is also another strong lawyer. He's a good lawyer. He's very well known. So Mpuga has always been bragging.
He has the mango grounds.
Yes, he's a good Muganda. He has no any issue. He has no any dispute with Buganda. And he's a humble man, down to earth. Most importantly, he's formerly a chairman of Masaka district. And he worked hard to ensure that Masaka is elevated into a city.
Yeah.
So he has achievements to share with people of Masaka. Those who have been saying, when you lose in Mpuga, then you have lost Masaka. Now we have someone who is going to be charged with the duty of going to Masaka, recruit, mobilize, organize, and deploy members of NUP.
Yeah, okay. Maybe shortly, I want us to speak about
But before you leave the recruitment,
yes,
amongst the people we recruited are sons and daughters of the veterans who brought Museveni into power. Did you see them? We had a very big delegation from Ruwero.
the increasing one
led by one Juma Waswa, who is a veteran also, who recently crossed to NUP. So I can assure you that every day NUP's support is growing.
Okay, I want us to first go for a short break, but then when we come back, I want us to talk about the NUP prisoners who were, of course, were in court this very week, in the General Court Martial. And we also want to know the outcome of the court, and also we talk about the traders demonstration that is still ongoing. Traders are demonstrating, they have refused to open their shops. So we want to know they are set to meet the president. I think on Friday.
Friday is what
they are
is
set to meet the president, and we are waiting to see what will come out of that. Otherwise, you're still on the PowerPoint show. I'm Jacob Junior Munghesi on MGD TV. After this short break, I see you. we'll be back from that short break. You're still with Jacob Junior Munghesi here on the PowerPoint show on MGD and of course I'm still with Honorable Habib Buwembo, trying to discuss the current affairs, the things going on in the country. We've had very many unfoldings in the country throughout the other week and then this week. Let me say from the time he rested from, he took a leave from the show, there is a lot of things that have been happening, and that's what we are trying to dissect one by one. Otherwise, I appreciate those who are following the show, who keep following, those who keep commenting, liking, sharing, and those who keep giving in their views and telling us what we should improve, what we should maintain, and what we should change. Thank you so much, and we count on you as MGD TV and as PowerPoint show and as Jacob Junior Munghesi, who does host this show. Before we went for the break, we were talking about those who are crossing to the NUP, which is also happening in other parties, not on an NUP, but the question is whether they just trying to politically
which party is doing the work that
just
we are
trying
doing
to
today?
strategize. For me as a person, and also from what we were seeing, we can also take what happened at the time when Honorable the Balam took your NUP guy to meet the president.
He took masqueraders. Those have never been NUP leaders. They have never been NUP. Do you remember that in that very scenario, they hired a saloon which they labeled to be an NUP office?
Like if you consider them masqueraders, they also consider these ones who joined yesterday as masqueraders.
Who doesn't know Babali? I've informed you that he's a former chairman of Masaka district.
Okay.
He's known.
Okay.
He's known.
Okay, then I want us I want us to talk about the NUP prisoners who have been in prison for over 3 years and nothing has been done yet, and still they were denied the bail. I don't know. What can you tell us about it and what this means to the party as NUP and also the people, the family members?
It is regrettable that one of the points Museveni convinced Ugandans with for why he had to go to bush, fight, and change the regime then was a promotion of rule of law. But what we are seeing today is contrary to what he said. He said he's fighting to ensure that there is a promotion of rule of law in Uganda. To begin with, if you asked, what is the role of a court-martial? The military court. Military court constitutionally is supposed to try serving officers. Only people who are serving in the army are supposed to be tried in those military courts.
Yes. The
people we are talking about today, the NUP supporters, are never been in the military.
But I think the charges put against them that
yes, let it be, but that doesn't make them serving officers. I've said the military court is supposed to try serving officers, not people suspected to be holding military stores or equipments, serving officers. And any suspect is by law presumed to be innocent until proven guilty by courts. So if they are being suspected to be in possession of military things, that doesn't make them guilty to the what? To the offense. So we wouldn't be expecting to see those supporters, NUP supporters, in the military courts being tried there. Regrettably, it is where they are. If for those who are trying to put some interpretations that when you are suspected to be holding, possessing military things, then you are tried in military courts. Why isn't a person like Jamiru Mukuru, who has been hunted for so many years for killing people across the country in the name of ADF thing? Because they have always been convincing us that he's the head, he's the top commander of ADF. So they have been using guns to kill. We've had stories of bombings in the city in the name of ADF. When they got him, why didn't they try him from the court martial? Why is he in these normal courts? You know, those people who are suspected to have used guns and they have been caught from the crime scenes, like the people who murdered the elder of the Buganda elder, the Ndiga clan elder, you know, Romu, the late Romu. Are they being tried in the court-martial courts? They were found with a gun. And part of the exhibits before a court is a gun that they used to shoot down the elder. Why are they being tried from the civil courts, not court-martial? Then someone you found with a beret. The beret you are alleging to be an attire that resembles an army's attire. You try him from what? From court martial.
Should we say if your people had apologized before, like Abel did?
Apologizing.
If they had apologized like this woman MP, who Abel, she's called Abel, this woman MP of
Kitugumu.
It is Kitugumu.
Yes.
Because I remember when she came out after Abel.
Yes. She's a minister now, state minister.
Yeah, of course, she's now a minister. Maybe if that apologized like her, they would have...
You see, my point is, the promotion of rule of law was a lie. What is happening in Uganda, there is no rule of law. If it was there, we wouldn't be seeing our people being tried in court-martial. Then, how the court-martial is also transacting its business is also a total shame. The last day, that was 15th, this week, when we were in court, expecting our people to be released on bail because we had applied for bail for them. We presented substantive sureties. Amongst were MPs.
MPs, yeah, I saw him.
A list of MPs led by the leader of opposition, Honorable Joel Senyonyi. Then amongst were the mayors, like Mulyanyama was part of the sureties. We were shocked when the chairman of the court-martial said or read the ruling denying these people bail on the ground that they lack places of abode. So him forgetting that on the charge sheets that he was using try these people before his court is the places of abode to these suspects is indicated. Because when you stand before a court, they read in this manner. Buwembo Habib aged this a resident of, you are being, it is alleged that on such and such a day, you are found doing A, B, C, D. Yeah. That's how they read the plea. You either plead guilty or innocent. So, residence of a suspect is part of the statement in that manner. You know? So, how do you come and say, because they lack place of abode, we cannot grant them bail? That simply expressed the incompetency of the court-martial. That's what I can say. But however, like I said before, that injustice to one is injustice to all of us. We are duty-bound to, as citizens, to come up, to raise up, and say no to such injustices. What our brothers and sisters are going through is just a political persecution. They are being persecuted because of their political belief. Because, like you heard from one of them, our brother, comrade Sanya, who was...
But what happened to him again is something... I don't know, but... Okay, I don't want to comment about it, but I don't know how you took it as a party, what happened to him after making those statements and whatever happened.
For us, we've always been hearing from him because we visit him in the prison where he is. And he has always been repeating it, that they are choosing us, they are persecuting us because of supporting Honorable Kyagulanyi. They are persecuting us because of voting and protecting the votes of Honorable Kyagulanyi. And they have always been sending them state agents to persuade them to change their minds, to change their support, their political support, so that they can be maybe be given a relief, temporary freedom. It is on the same line that this Balaam now is trying to push. Now, the only difference is that Balaam has come out publicly to say it.
But he asked for the names and...
The names were given to him.
Maybe he wanted them in person, not to be presenting them on the
Balaam, if he's not satisfied with the names that were given to him by the leader of opposition, let him reach that court. The court itself, it has the list, the files. It has the files. Let him first deal with those who are being persecuted and paraded before those courts, and leave alone those who are missing in courts. You know? So, we are condemning all actions that happened in that court. The way military beat up our comrade Sanya, we sent in a team today. It has gone to prison to visit him, to find out how he is health-wise. Okay. Because we have fears that they might have maybe injured some of his limbs.
Okay, maybe crossing to the traders in Kampala who are currently demonstrating. Actually, not in Kampala, but even I saw the other day even in Masaka, I saw in Mbale, and the people are saying, because I've heard from some politicians from the NRM party saying that the opposition is trying to use this as an opportunity to also engage in the demonstration, and they are the ones overfueling these traders to demonstrate.
You know, Museveni and the team, if it is stealing this time round, they stole an elephant. When you steal an elephant, you find it difficult hiding it. You will not squeeze it into a house. You will not squeeze it into. You will not carry it. You know, you find a lot of burden hiding it or running away with it. So Museveni is in a trouble. Every group that comes up to demand for anything, he labels them to the opposition. But why? Because that's what it is. Everyone in the country, every genuine Ugandan who is not a relative to Museveni, who is not a puppet to him, belongs to the opposition. So when the doctors raised up, he was like, you will see those oppositions. So the doctors are ours. When the teachers raised up through the organization of, is it UNATO? UNATO. Museveni and his accomplices were like, those are the opposition. Now traders across the country, when they raised up, he was like, those are the opposition now planning to bring me down. Yeah, what you are saying, Museveni and the group, it is true. Most of the Ugandans are in opposition. But now let us focus at what the Constitution provides. It is a constitutional mandate to every citizen to pay taxes.
Yes.
And it is a constitutional mandate for the government to collect these taxes and use them for what? To provide service to the same citizens.
And they're doing it.
Then, what mandate that is drawn back to those who have paid taxes? To call for accountability. After you paying taxes, you have to follow up and call for accountability. Besides Museveni's regime collecting huge taxes, what is it that they are using these taxes for?
They're using the money to pay for the security that you're using as a country. They're paying.
Whose security? When we are losing lives of Ugandans on a daily. Every day you hear the other has been murdered, the other one has been murdered, the other one has been gunned down. Have you ever had any report from any security officer?
Maybe it could be the
responding to the ongoing killings.
Maybe the
do we have the security?
No, look.
Or to you want to fall into their utterances that security means sleeping. When you sleep and
and wake up safe. But maybe that's the matter.
No, sir, they did that term safe because most do sleep and they don't wake up,
which is natural. No. What if these taxes are also aimed at maybe trying to maybe to enforce more this security? You're saying people being murdered because of maybe poor security. Maybe they want to add in.
You see, they used part of our taxes to procure cameras. They call it security cameras. Remind me when they have maybe issued out a report from those cameras trailing those murderers, and indeed they come and implicate them and maybe convict them based on those reports. When is those cameras used? That is my concern.
So you mean
they are only used at a time when there is demonstrations. Now all those security personnel are on cameras following up the traders' movements. How are they moving? Whom are they talking to? Who are they dealing with? You know, they are very busy. But when it comes to security, protecting people's lives, the cameras are not functioning. Just in the previous week, it was a Saturday, I think, 13th. It was a Saturday. We were at the home of the late comrade NUP Kenya Rita.
Rita, yes.
Who was murdered by police, whose duty is to protect her. She was knocked down by a police patrol, and the police patrol, after, when the driver realized that indeed she's down, reversed back and bypassed on her body, and she lost life. We buried her 3 years back. We are in a service of memory service, you know. But my interest in the story is when the scene, the crime scene was nearby a security camera. So we are like, since the camera is nearby the crime scene, let us be given the footage of this incident so that we can get to know whether it was intentional or it was an accident. Whether those the eyewitnesses, what they are saying, that the driver had to reverse back to ensure that she's totally finished, is true or not. Do you know what their response was? Like at the time she was knocked down, the camera had gotten some problems, so it was not functioning.
Which could be true, because we've seen most of those cameras don't work.
Which could be true, like it has been true in all cases of murder. In the case of Kawes, it is true that all cameras were not functional. In the case of the murder of Chirumira, all cameras were down. In the case of the killing of Major Muhammad Chigundu, cameras were not functioning. In the case of the killings of all sheikhs who have been murdered in this country, Uganda, Sheikh Muwaya, you remember, Nijinja, Sheikh Hassane Chiria, Niweyogerere, Sheikh I'm forgetting some names, but we have lost about 10 of them, big sheikhs in the city center. None of them whose death was captured by these security cameras. So we continue asking ourselves, are some services provided by the taxpayers' money, are they provided in the interest of the citizens of the country or in the interest of retaining the regime? Back to the demonstrations of the traders in the city. The government introduced a new system called EFRIS, electronic fiscal receipt and invoice system, whereby they are subjecting a duty on every trader, one, to purchase a machine, a trader purchasing a machine on behalf of URA, then register all the items you are having in your shop on behalf of URA. Then after registering, whichever item you sell out, you have to deduct, the machine deducts the tax and send it direct to URA. But tell me, whose duty is it to collect tax?
It is URA, but maybe it is
then whose duty would it be to purchase or to employ the people who have to take charge of collecting tax? So the whole burden is being put on the traders. But to make matters worse, which tax is it taxing that by EFRIS? It is said VAT, value added tax. The same tax which is already taxed at a time of either importing the goods that you are in the shops we are talking about. Because wherever people are importing goods, they pay the following taxes: import tax, they pay VAT, they pay duty tax, they pay infrastructure tax. So VAT is already covered. And then you follow up the same good which you have already taxed with so many taxes to the destination.
Maybe the URA has just come out and explain all this to the people. Say that.
What is it that happens?
Maybe there could be a reason behind that.
That is cheating, theft, total theft. Because when you read the taxation laws, there is a clause that says double taxation is illegal. Double taxation is illegal. So tell me, if you have taxed these things, the goods, from the center of entrance in the country, and then you follow up the same goods to tax them from the shops. Now take an example of people who are shopping from Chikubo. They come, buy things to Natete now, to resell them. You know?
Yeah.
That is how it happens. Even a person, a trader in Natete is expected to be having EFRIS what? You have already taxed the same commodities from Chikubo. Now you are following the same commodities to be taxed from Natete. But there are those who are also buying from Natete to either Mityana. You follow up the same commodities to be taxed. That is double taxation, which is illegal. And it is what traders are demonstrating against. And it shouldn't be left to the concern of only traders. It should be a concern of all of us. Because when the traders are affected, the final consumers are also going to be affected.
And I saw your president, he came out and was like, we are in support or we are with you.
We are all in support. So, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi has already expressed his support to the traders. And he has awakened all Ugandans to come into this what? Demonstration.
And
we are in it. And I'm here not for a joke. I'm also demonstrating. Yes, that's why I'm talking about how these taxes are to affect us. I'm trying to waking up Ugandans, wherever they are. Those who have been thinking that it is a matter of only traders to wake up and realize that it is their concern. A dress which you've been buying at 20,000 is going to reach a level when you are buying it at 50,000 because of too much taxes that is being put on it.
The leaders of these traders, of course, we saw them meeting the leader of opposition and his cabinet, and I was seeing this Friday they are set to meet the president. Is it because nothing came out of the first meetings?
Yes, they have petitioned the leader of opposition, and the leader of opposition has also expressed has presented their concern on the floor of parliament. The parliament resolved for the matter to go into the committees, the accounting committees, to follow up where the mess is. So, but before that is done, the URA hasn't halted its process of demanding for these taxes. Yes. And URA set harsh penalties for those who are not compliant. For example, they say when how they are tracking the tax, when they find a border carrying some commodities, they stop the border and ask where is the receipt? The e-receipt. When you don't present it, they ask you, where have you bought the things? It is now a burden of a border guy to take them back where he has bought the things. Now they ask the owner of the shop, why haven't you issued out the e-receipt? I haven't installed the system.
But then my question.
They say, when they realize that you have no machine, EFRIS machine, you are subjected to pay a fine of 50 million Uganda shillings, or be sent to prison for 10 years. You can imagine. So, but do you know how much the machine itself buys? 6 million. So you have to invest 6 million on behalf of URA. After buying it, do you think that every trader has the knowledge to manage that machine?
They will be taught.
So you employ someone on behalf of URA to come and collect the taxes for URA, and you pay this employee. It is total.
So shortly, like in 1 minute before we end the show. So like we've seen several things happening. This comes up and people come up to demonstrate or show their, show their grievances and try to express them. But then, should we say that Parliament has lost its power? That now everything has to be taken to the president?
Which powers?
Because such a thing should have been even solved from Parliament. But now if the people are now, if even the traders are petitioning...
We have always been saying that all institutions are in captivity. And the captivity of all institutions is that man we've been talking about, the one with the big heart. If you ask anybody, do we have the governor of Bank of Uganda? Since when did he die? Now, who is executing the duties that have to be executed by the governor of Bank of Uganda? Who's that person?
It is Uganda.
Could it be Wabogo or Janat Kataha or...
So why mention names within?
Yeah, those are the people whose power, who has...
You mean you can't be one?
So, you have access. Who carries those sacks? Do you have capacity to carry one?
I don't know.
You remember at a time when Museveni and the family much wanted the act that provides the age cap for one to contest for presidency. and he was being caught up by the edge. Do you remember how they treated Parliament? Who deployed the SFC in Parliament? To force the members of Parliament to remove that car.
Nobody was forced. It was anybody's hand held.
To the level that the speaker then, Honorable Kadaga, had tried to the president to ask who has deployed.
And what was the answer?
And what was the purpose of the deployment? Up to now, she has never been answered, only to be forced out of the office. You know? So, I cannot waste a lot of time discussing whether the parliament has failed or it has still some powers to put things in control. I don't think that it is important. We know who has captured all the powers of the institutions. And I would so much want to spend most of my energies and also mobilizing Ugandans, spend most of their energies at dealing with that someone who has captured the powers of all these institutions.
So that is the way.
Otherwise, without functioning institutions, we have no country.
So that is the Buwembo for you. He believes that the problem is just an individual and not an institution or institutions. Otherwise, it has been the PowerPoint sham. Jacob Junior Munghesi, and I have been with Honorable Buwembo. We are now back in action, and you'll be seeing him every Wednesday of every week. Every Wednesday you'll be seeing Honorable Buwembo, and we shall be coming to discuss a lot of things, those in his party, in other parties, and whatever that will be moving on or going on in the country. I'm Jacob Junior. Until next week, we meet.